What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today it's time to talk about the very final cards from BT9. We have talked about the vast majority of the cards, but there are still a dozen cards we haven't talked about, and this is one of those situations where we could get very upset or very angry, or we could talk about the last dozen cards that we need to talk about. And there are a dozen cards we haven't looked at yet, so we will be doing a little bit of a speed round. So starting off in yellow, we have got a new Digi-Egg. It's Digimon X-Antibody. It's a level 2, so it's got one inheritable skill. On your turn, once per turn, when a card is added to your security, one of your opponent's Digimon loses 1,000 power for the turn. And it is only 1,000 power, it's not very much at all, let's be perfectly clear. However, it can break a power tie, so an 11,000 could take out an 11,000 and survive, or it could finish a Digimon off. Let's not forget that one of the things that Yellow absolutely loves to do is to lower power. So if you're playing one of those yellow decks that lowers power, and there are very many yellow decks out there that do love to lower power, this is going to work very nicely indeed. Obviously, it's also got to be a security control deck, one that revolves around recovering cards. So it is very specific, like so many tamers are. But I don't really care. Because the fact of the matter is, it's a specific card, but in that specific deck, it's pretty gosh darn good. So yeah, if you're playing a recovery security control deck, and you want to be lowering some power, it's a good card. And speaking of good cards, Digimon. Now, it's a vanilla card, don't get me wrong, but it's one of those cards, and we've seen these a bit before. It is a level 3 yellow Digimon that is a 2 cost to play normally and free to Digivolve. And it's the third one of them. We've seen Tsukaimon in BT1, we've seen Salamon in the starter deck, and now we've seen Digimon. Did we need a third one? I mean, I think Digimon is cooler than either of the two we've had so far, so I'm totally into it. But the fact of the matter is, maybe. Because if you want to be playing a Rookie Rush deck, if you want to be playing just lots of super cheap Digimon, super cheap level 3s, then having a third one of these so you can now have 12 of them rather than 8, that's a good thing. Is it a stunning card? No. It is exactly the same as the other two we've seen before. But if you wanted another one of these, it's here. And it's really kind of awesome. So this is one that I can absolutely get behind. As for Starmon, less so if I'm honest with you, ladies and gentlemen. This is another vanilla Digimon, but I just don't like it. 4 cost to play normally, 2 cost to Digivolve, 6,000 power. Well, 4 is pretty standard for a level 4, and 2 to Digivolve is standard for a level 4. So the only thing we're really hanging our hat on here is 6,000 power. But that's still not a lot. If you're blindly attacking the stack with 6,000, you're still going to get deleted by pretty much any level 5 or 6. You're still not being able to take out that many Digimon. And you're not cheap. And I'm sorry, but when I'm playing level 4s, I want to do one of two things. I either want to be evolving up quickly, getting to my big bad Digimon, or I want to be having some skills I can take advantage of. Starmon does neither of those, and there's nothing I can see to really recommend it. But if you want to pop up into a level 5, we've got Dark Super Starmon. And here, 7 cost to play normally, 3 cost to Digivolve, 9,000 power. The 9,000 power here is relevant, because 9,000 power means you're above the average level 5. They tend to be 7 or 8. So that means that when you're attacking the stack, you're only getting deleted by 6s and 7s, which is a much smaller portion of your opponent's deck. So I do like when level 5s go bigger than 5, more than I like when level 4s go bigger than 4. But the fact of the matter is, it's still nothing terribly special. It's not cheap to play as a 7 cost, it's not cheap to Digivolve as a 3 cost. But it is a dual colour yellow and black Digimon. And that is about the best I can tell you. I don't know whether that's enough, whether that makes a big difference, but that's what I can tell you, ladies and gentlemen. Honestly, I think this might be the first dual colour yellow and black. I certainly can't think of any, and I'm having a look around DigimonCard.dev at the moment, who incidentally did provide any translations we use in here. So, maybe that's a reason? Not sure it's a great reason, But if you really want a yellow-black Digimon, this one will do it. Yeah, I'm not feeling brilliant about this one. So moving over into red, we've got a couple of silly-looking Digimon. Mini Decatchimon. And just like we said a moment ago with Toy Agamon, we've got another one of those lovely Digimon that is a 2 cost to play normally level 3. Only this one is red. And it's as simple as that. And we could say, hang on a second, that's the Monodramon from BT1, and it is. Or the Biyomon from the first starter deck. Or even the Gazimon from BT8. Yeah, red already had a third one of these. Now red's got a fourth one, so red can have like 16 of them. Not sure red necessarily needs 16 of them, but it's there if they want them. And everything I said before about Toy Agamon absolutely holds here. You can choose your favourite artwork, you can play a whole bunch of them. You can play multiples, so, play 2 of each to try and throw your opponent off in terms of the counts that you're playing. But honestly here, it's nothing terribly special, and certainly when we're looking at red that's already had 3 of these 2 cost to play, 0 cost to Digivolve level 3s, it's there and it's cool, but it's nothing special. But we've also got his running mate here, Atama Decatchimon. Go for that one. And here we got a 5 cost to play normally, 2 cost to Digivolve, 7,000 power, level 4. And I will say, 7,000 power for a level 4 is absurd. Like, properly absurd. But it's actually more expensive to play normally. So, yeah. Not sure how much I'm loving this, if I'm honest with you, ladies and gentlemen. I like the power. For what it's worth, we have seen 8,000 power level 4s, like the Apemon, the yellow one from BT6, or the Monochromon from BT7. So it's not even breaking the record for that. It's fine, but it's nothing I'm getting terribly excited about. Like I've said, when we're talking about these lower levels, I either want cheap, so I can get up to the Digimon I actually want nice and quickly, or I want good skills I can really take advantage of. And if you're not giving me either of those, I am going to find it very difficult to get very excited, quite frankly. Sorry about that. But we do have a red Digimon with a skill that we've escaped looking at so far. My apologies for that one. We've got Geelmon, and we've got a 4 cost to play normally, 0 cost to Digivolve, 3,000 power. And 4 cost to play normally is expensive for a level 3, so we need something here. Well, the good news is it Digivolves as a 0 cost from Geelmon, which is lovely. We've talked about that a lot in the previous videos, but it means you get extra potentially inheritable skills. You draw a card when you Digivolve, that's all good. When you Digivolve, you delete one of your opponents with 3,000 power or less, and that's cool, but it's not amazing. It's going to get a bunch of level 3s, and I suppose occasionally level 4s, but it's not exactly going to get a huge range of Digimon here. Let's not pretend it's going to get them all. It is going to get just a couple of smaller Digimon here and there. It's a nice skill, but it's not stunning. We then have an inheritable skill that lets you add 1,000 power to the maximum amount of power you can choose with power-based deletion effects, i.e., any Digimon out there that deletes a Digimon with 3,000 power or less, like this, would actually be 4,000 power or less. And we've seen that this Digivolution line has been playing around with this in recent sets. If you're playing that kind of deck, Geomon will fit in very nicely indeed. Moving over into blue, there is one Digimon we've not talked about yet, and I hate to say it, it's not terribly exciting. It's Crabmon, and it's another one of those Digimon that's a 2 cost to play, 0 cost to Digivolve level 3. Only this time it's in blue. For anyone who's wondering, we've had 2 of these. We had a Lekmon in BT1 and we had Gomamon in the starter deck. Yeah, they tended to be in the starter decks and the first set, and then they kind of stopped doing these for a little while, and now apparently they're coming back. So this is the third one of these we've had, and exactly like I said with the others, if you want a third, brilliant. If you don't, that's absolutely valid as well. Moving over into green, we have exactly one new Digimon to talk about. It is Ninjamon, and I like the design of Ninjamon, but I don't like Ninjamon. 4 cost to play normally, 2 cost to Digivolve, 6,000 power. That might seem a little bit familiar here, because that is the exact stat line we saw on Starmon. And I told you I didn't really like it on Starmon. And I don't really have very much to add here. Everything I said about Starmon is still absolutely valid. And that's the reason I don't like Ninjamon. Like the design of the Digimon, don't like the card. Moving over into black, we have one more Digitama we've yet to talk about. It is Goromon. And nice and simply, it gives you an extra 1,000 power if you've got blocker. So this is a Digitama, which I know is a really silly thing to say, but essentially it gives an extra 1,000 power, which is very standard for Digitama, and it's very specific to a particular kind of deck, which is pretty similar here. I mean, it's very, very much like the Kapurimon from BT2 that gives you an extra 1,000 power if you've got Reboot. Or the Missamon from BT4 that gives you an extra 1,000 power if you're D-Brigade. And what I said about those cards back then is exactly how I feel about this card now. If you're playing a deck with blocker, this is cool. If you're not, don't worry about it. Also, I suppose I should mention, it's the Kapurimon from Starter Deck 5. Or at least the inverse thereof. Goromon is on your opponent's turn, Kapurimon is on your turn. So if you've got a blocker that wants to attack, Kapurimon's got your back because it's giving you power on your turn. But if you've got a blocker that wants to block, then you're going to want Goromon because that is going to help you out on your opponent's turn, and that's when you're actually going to do all of that blocking stuff. So yeah, it's very much what we would expect. It gives you 1,000 power in a specific kind of deck, which is what the vast majority of Digitama do. If you want to be playing a blocking deck, might I suggest you want to be playing around with these two. And do remember, right, you can only play 4 of each card, but you can play 5 Digitama total, so you can now have a mixture of Goromon and Kapurimon, depending on whether you're blocking or attacking, and I think that's kind of neat. We've then got Bearmon, that is a vanilla level 3, no skills here, unfortunately. Makes me a little bit sad, because Bearmon is obviously adorable. And, oh look, it's a 2 cost to play normally, 0 cost to Digivolve level 3, like we've been talking about for an awful lot of the video. Given that we've given comparisons for the others, we'll do it here. We had the Hagurumon from BT2 and the Commandramon from BT3. Because black wasn't around with the first lot of starter decks, we did it slightly differently. So, yeah, these are cool. You've now got 3 different options rather than 2. You can now have 12 total rather than 8. And I don't really need to say much more about this because we kind of covered this the first 3 times. But we can move on to another bear-related card. It is Grizzlymon, and this is a level 4, but this one I can get behind. 5 cost to play normally, 1 cost to Digivolve, 5,000 power. And I really did emphasize the 1 cost to Digivolve here, because that's what we're talking about. Simple as that. It is a black level 4 that is 1 cost to Digivolve, and we need as many of those as we can get our hands on. Up till now, we've had 2 options. We've had the Numamon from BT2, which is also only a 3 cost to play normally, which for a level 4 is incredibly cheap, but it's also like hilariously weak. Like 3,000 power on a level 4, that's level 3 territory. That's clearly horrendous. And we've had the Tankmon from BT3, which is 6 cost to play normally, which is absurd, but then 6,000 power, which is very high. So up till now, we've kind of had the 2 ends, the 2 extremes. Now we've got something that falls down a little bit more in the middle. If you want a 1 cost to Digivolve Digimon, this is fine. Falls between the other 2. It'll do quite nicely. And there we go, ladies and gentlemen, the last dozen cards from BT9. I believe at this stage that means we've looked at all of the Digimon in that set, but if I have missed any, do let me know in the comment section. And now tell me which of these you like. I think some of these have a bit of potential, as I've told you, but I want to hear from you guys. So let me know in the comment section, would you? Go nuts! Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi, That's where we talk Digimon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wossy Plays.